In a world of increasingly complex smartphones packed with features that you might never use, and with prices rising all around us, there's something truly refreshing about a phone that gets the fundamentals right. The Pixel 9a offers a clean, uncluttered software experience with the features you want without breaking the bank, and a guaranteed 7 years of security updates. I have never used or owned a Pixel before, so this will be my first time ever using Google's hardware. The phone itself feels very light in the hand and has nice rounded corners. This is the first phone that I've seen in years that virtually has no camera bump, which is unique. Outside of that, the design is pretty simple. I picked mine up in this bright pink or peony color, which is very similar to the iPhone 16 pink colorway. It has a 6.3-inch display with a hole punch selfie camera at the top. The screen itself is a super bright 120Hz OLED display with shatterproof Gorilla Glass 3 on the front. So about the shatter-resistant Gorilla Glass 3, while I was shooting B-roll, I dropped the phone and it shattered. It literally just dropped on the ledge that I was filming on, and the entire front screen completely shattered. So yeah, now back to the video. The Pixel 9a is running the Tensor G4 chip, which is the same chip found in its flagship counterpart. The only limiting factor is its 8GB of RAM that might hold it back during high-intensity workflows, but with my usage over the last few days, I have not seen this phone sputter even a little bit. But raw power alone is not the only part of the equation. The software is what drives the phone experience. This is where my personal preference for Google's take on Android really comes through. I absolutely love the clean, straightforward nature of Android 15 on Pixel. It feels incredibly simple to use, a stark contrast to interfaces like Samsung's One UI, which, while powerful, can feel a little bit clunky as an overlay on top of Android 15. It also stands out against the ultra-modern design language you find in Nothing OS. Instead, the simplicity and refined feel of vanilla Android actually reminds me a lot of iOS on the iPhone. This phone, like the rest of the Pixel 9 line, is built for Gemini through and through. Since this is the first time I'm using Gemini on a Google phone, I was curious about a few of its features and how they work. Let's start with Circle to Search. Imagine this: you are looking at something amazing on your screen, maybe a stylish jacket in a video that you're watching, or a bizarre plant in a photo. Instead of fumbling to describe what you're seeing or switching apps, all you have to do is press and hold the bottom bar of your phone. This instantly activates Circle to Search, allowing you to simply draw a circle around whatever catches your eye. A quick Google search pops up and gives you instant information without ever leaving your current app. Another feature that I've been using a lot recently is Gemini Live. This is Google's conversational voice assistant. I've actually been using this mainly as a soundboard to plan and organize my thoughts when writing videos. This has been something that I've actually been using for a while now, even on my iPhone. Having something that I can just talk at and organize my thoughts into a bullet point list has definitely been helpful when I'm brainstorming ideas for videos. Moving on to Pixel Studio, this is Google's version of Apple's Image Playground found on the iPhone, which allows you to generate images on device through prompts. For example, you can generate a corgi sitting in a chair, wearing a birthday hat, blowing out a candle on a cake within a matter of seconds. You can switch up styles and choose from a variety of choices as well. Beyond these AI-powered features, let's talk about some of the core hardware that enables much of the phone's functionality, starting with the camera system and battery. On the back, the 9A features a 48-megapixel main camera paired with a 13-megapixel lens for front-facing and ultra-wide shots. A key design point here is the absence of a camera bump. Even though the phone is a touch thicker than its predecessors, this isn't just extra bump. It is a deliberate trade-off that makes room for a much larger 5100 mAh battery. Compared to top-tier flagships like the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra or even the iPhone 16e from Apple, the Pixel 9a immediately carves out its space primarily on price. At $499, it sits in a completely different category, aiming for accessibility over anything else. This price difference means that you're not going to get absolute peak performance. the most versatile camera array found on something like the S25 Ultra or the ultra premium build materials you might see on more expensive iPhones. But this phone still holds its own in key areas. Its Tensor G4 chip brings flagship level AI capabilities and smooth performance for most tasks, though the 8GB of RAM means that it might not keep pace with the S25 Ultra or the iPhone 16e in substantial heavy workflows. The software experience is a major draw here if you prefer the clean, simple, and refined feel of vanilla Android. It stands apart from Samsung's One UI or even Nothing OS, finding more common ground with iOS on the iPhone 16e and its straightforward approach. The 48-megapixel main camera is capable for the price point, offering good results even though that it can't compete with the S25 Ultra zoom or sheer versatility. Battery life is definitely a strong suit for the Pixel here, lasting me 2.5 days on a single charge, which is competitive even against phones like the iPhone 16e and likely outlast more power-hungry flagships during intense use. The design is subjective, but the lack of a camera bump and the durable feeling plastic gives it a distinct physical identity. Ultimately, the Pixel 9a feels like a champion of value and usability. It's not trying to outspec the S25 Ultra or even match the premium polish of every aspect of the iPhone 16e. Instead, it focuses on delivering a consistently great software experience, reliable performance, excellent battery life, and a capable camera at a price point that makes sense. When you look at this phone against phones in the similar price range like the Nothing 3A, the comparisons become a little tighter, boiling down to preferences in software design and specific feature sets. But the Pixel's overall package at $499 remains incredibly compelling. In a market saturated with expensive, overly complex smartphones, this phone truly feels like a breath of fresh air, living up to the initial promise of getting the fundamentals right and then some. If you are looking for a smart, simple, long-lasting, and capable Android phone that doesn't break the bank, the Pixel 9a should absolutely be at the very top of your list.